Transition Tuesday. I'm Jane. This is Joe. This is our sign that a fan in Michigan, Cindy, made for us. Thank you, Cindy. We're talking about pivots, the pivot episode. Why are we talking about pivots? Well, frequently, families of kids who have a disability discover that what might have worked at one time all of a sudden no longer works. Or maybe it stops working and you try thinking, well, maybe we'll just practice again tomorrow, or who knows. But it's kind of like in business when they talk about being agile and having to pivot. It's the same thing when you're a family of a person with a disability or kids in general. So we've recently had to pivot. Joe has been having some issues with his stomach, and we aren't really sure what's going on with him, but we had to pivot. Some things that we were going to do a certain way, or had been doing a certain way for a long time, like for example Joe sleeping on his stomach. Suddenly that doesn't work for him anymore. We're not sure if it's pain related to his hip or his scoliosis or a stomach issue, but he can't sleep on his stomach. So we had to pivot. And as you know, I love plans, so here is a pivot plan. You got to review what you want to happen. Review what went right, and don't judge yourself. Don't judge, oh, I should have never let him sleep on his stomach. It's not good for people, blah, blah, blah. It's just what happened. We had to pivot. Right, Joe? Do we have to change our plans sometimes? Yes? Do we have to change our plans? Are you distracted because we're sitting outside on a beautiful spring day? Yeah. We've also had to change some medications, and Joe's adjusting to that. So here are some examples of pivoting in Joe's real life. We've had to work with his AAC device. We had to come up with some different ways to do the switch technology. And as I said before, sleeping on his stomach. So here's the thing. Here's more of what you do with a pivot plan. You look forward. You know what went wrong, but where do you want to go? And sometimes that goal is exactly the same. In this case, a full night's sleep. We all want that. So whether it's on his stomach or on his back or whatever, we want a full night's sleep. So we're looking forward to how do we get to those nights. Then you assess, I wrote access, assess your progress, and then have a plan C if plan B doesn't work. So moving forward, we were kind of anticipating that Joe was going to need some positioning changes at home. We have a mat and we have his chair, and we wanted to give him some other options for seating. And so we were looking into some things, and we decided on a recliner, which we purchased a couple of weeks ago. And we've been propping him up with pillows and doing some things like that. On the first night that Joe couldn't sleep on his stomach, we pivoted and we put him in the recliner and tried to see if he could sleep in there. And actually, he did get some sleep in there. Ask Joe, assess the progress. Do you like the recliner? Joe, do you like the recliner? Touch my hand if you like laying in the recliner. Or tell me with your voice, either or. Do you like being in the recliner? I see your smile. Do you like the recliner? Touch my hand if you like the recliner. Yeah. And then plan C would be going back to the mat and the chair. So that's kind of a pivot. So we're going to keep working on those things, trying to find solutions, being okay with if a plan doesn't work, and kind of strategizing some possibilities if that happens, and then enjoying success, celebrating success when we can. It's just part of life, the pivot. You see dragonflies, hummingbirds do it. You see animals do it all the time when they hit a barrier and change their plans on the fly. And we can do it too. We've done it all during COVID, haven't we? So anyway, that's our pivot episode. We hope that you will subscribe to our channel, Transition Tuesdays with Jane and Joe on YouTube. Joe would love it if you subscribed. So have a great week, and we'll see you next time.